Hey, what's up guys, Dom here, and in the last 2 weeks I watched a lot of movies. So I have a podcast called Media Dump where me and my friend Nick talk about all the media we've consumed over the previous 2 weeks. And movies are one of those topics that we talk about. But I watched a lot of movies, so I figure I'm going to make a second video talking about the movies that I've seen in the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to link to that Media Dump podcast, and then if you want to listen to my other thoughts on other media, go watch that. So in the last 2 weeks, I watched 20 movies. 11 of them are new ones. So the first brand new movie I watched is Deliverance. That is a graphic-ass movie that's kind of disturbing. It was still really good. None of the characters are likable. And made me uncomfortable watching it, but I think that's the point. It was good. Maybe I should say what it's about. It's about these guys who go rafting on a river and then they like kill a guy and then self-defense. They like kill a guy and then they like are running away from these bad guys chasing them and then they're like going down a river. I don't know. It's a movie from the 80s. And it was good. I would maybe give it a 7. Just because personally a lot of those graphic movies don't like that much. And none of the characters are likable, and they made some dumb decisions, and it's like, but it was still good. Second new movie I watched is called Awakenings. That one had Robin Williams and Robert De Niro, and that's and it was really, really interesting, really good. I would highly recommend this movie. I give it a, spoiler alert, I'm gonna give it a 9. And that's about like it was like there was a epidemic of something, I forget what it was, and a bunch of kids in like the 1910s like basically go into essentially a coma, but they're like awake, but they're in a coma and they're like this, like looking, but they're non-responsive. And then it's like 40 years later, Robin Williams' character comes and he's like, and he discovers that they can like, that they're there, that they're still there, that they're not completely brain dead. And then he, like, essentially brings them back to life. But it was also a very sad movie. Very, very sad. So if you want to feel feelings and emotions, watch that movie. It was really good. Highly, very, very good. But it was also sad as fuck. Next new movie I saw. So this one's a cheat. Okay, it's 7 Years in Tibet. That's got Brad Pitt. And he's a Nazi. Kind of weird. But a good Nazi. And he's like hiding from the war in Tibet, and then he becomes a friend of the Dalai Lama, and then he does a bunch of stuff. It's kind of a cheat because you ever get an hour through a movie, an hour through a 2-hour movie and realize you've seen it before? So that's what happened in 7 Years in Tibet. I watched it, got an hour in, and then there's like a love triangle thing, and I was like, I've seen this. But I didn't remember it at all, so it was essentially like I saw it for the first time, so maybe a little bit of a cheat. That was good. I give that a 8. Not much else. It was good. It was young Brad Pitt. Y'all want to see young Brad Pitt? And then the next new movie I saw was Morbius. One question: why does everybody hate this movie? I thought it was good. I don't. Why does everybody hate this movie? I don't know. Is it because Jared Leto's a bad person? Maybe. But I thought the movie was fine. I kind of liked it. Actually, the bat like swarm. I like that visual. I really liked the visual. I thought it was cool. If you don't know what Morbius is, it's Jared Leto as a vampire, but a good vampire. That's why I don't get it. He's like a vamp. Okay. Here we go. So they're like, it's like Spider-Man villains universe, but like Venom's like or Eddie Brock and Venom is like a good guy, and then Jared Leto's character is a good guy, but they're like gonna do a crossover movie of Spider-Man villains. That's why I don't understand but they're good guys. They're gonna fight, but I don't understand what's going on. That was good. I give it an 8. It was pretty good. All right, was that 5? That was 4. I got a lot more to go. Next I watched is The Devil's Own. It was pretty good. So Brad Pitt again? I don't even like Brad. I think Brad Pitt's fine. I watched 3 Brad Pitt movies. No, Brad Pitt again. And it's funny, in 7 Years to Tibet, he's German. He's like talking in a German accent. And then in Devil's Own, he's Irish and he's talking in an Irish accent. The Devil's Own was, it's got Brad Pitt and Harrison Ford. And Brad Pitt is like a IRA member. And then he goes to live with Harrison Ford. But Harrison Ford doesn't know, you know, and then it's him doing this stuff. And then Harrison Ford's family's in danger. Does that sound familiar? But it was really good. Okay, it was pretty good. I give it an 8. It was good. I would recommend that movie. So now we're gonna take a break from movies, brand new movies, and we're gonna switch it up a little bit and talk about movies that I have seen before. 5 movies that I have seen before. So one movie I saw before that I rewatched was The Fugitive. That's an amazing movie. It's so good. If you haven't seen The Fugitive, Harrison Ford is a Dr. Richard Kimball, and he's got accused of them. He went to jail for the murder of his wife. But then he breaks out of jail and then he's fighting to prove his innocence. And it's got Tommy Lee Jones as a federal agent that's following him. And that is such a good 10 out of 10. That's a 10. That's a 10. It's so good. Watch that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it right now. It's amazing. I've rewatched it like 10. I've seen it like 10 times. Next movie I saw was Robin Hood with, what's his face? The Gladiator, Maximus, that guy. God damn it. Russell Crowe. That was with Russell Crowe. I like the movie. It's fine. It's not like it's probably the best. I don't know. The problem is that's the newest Robin Hood. There hasn't been another Robin Hood. But there's like Men in Tights, and then there's also Robin Hood with Kevin Costner, which that's a pretty good movie too. But this movie, it's good. I like it. I mean, if you rewatch it, when I rewatched it, I kind of skipped past a bunch of the boring parts, but it was still good. I give it a 7.5 maybe. That was alright. Seen that before, but okay. Next movie I seen, Cowboys and Aliens. Cowboys and Aliens. That's actually a good movie. Why does everybody hate that movie too? I don't know. Why did it bomb? I don't really get it. Cowboys and Aliens. That's a good movie. I give that movie an 8. That's a good movie. If you haven't seen Cowboys and Aliens, Harrison Ford again, James Bond. What's his face? I went like that because he's got a gun thing on his thing. And Olivia Wilde before she went nuts. And it's cowboys. They're cowboys, and the aliens came, and then the cowboys shoot the aliens. Pretty simple movie. Pretty simple concept. I give it an 8. It's pretty good. Go watch it. Next movie I saw, Philadelphia. I know, way different than the Cowboy, like the complete opposite of Cowboys and Aliens. That's got Tim Hanks. Okay, that's got Tim Hanks, and he has AIDS, and then he got fired, and then he hired Denzel to sue his company. And you just get to watch this man slowly die in front of your eyes. That's a great fucking movie. I give it at a 9.5. It's courtroom drama. I love courtroom dramas. I do. I love courtroom dramas. Are so good. Okay, so I would highly recommend that movie too. 9.5. It's so good. That's a great fucking movie. Denzel's character, kind of a dick. Be warned. And that's 4. The next movie I rewatched, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yep, rewatched that movie. That's a pretty good movie. I give that a 7.5. Here's the interesting about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. If you remember Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how I remembered it, because I watched it a long time ago, it used to be on FX all the time, and I thought that they got together and joined forces way earlier on. They did it at the end of the movie, the last half hour they're together, but the majority of the movie is them trying to kill each other, I guess, but not wanting to kill each other or just fucking with each other. That's the whole middle part of the movie. That's still good. If you don't know what that is, it's 2 assassins like got married and they didn't know that they were married, that they were either both of them were assassins. And then they like find out that they're both assassins, and then they both think that both of them are trying to kill them, but they're not. All right, so the next movie I saw was The Interpreter, and that had Nicole Kidman and Sean Penn in it. And Nicole Kidman is like a translator working for the UN, and then she accidentally overhears a murder plot, and then like they're trying to kill her, and then Sean Penn's a federal agent, he's trying to protect her, and then yeah, blah, blah, blah. But it was really good. Honestly, 9. I give the movie a 9. I'm not kidding. I thought it was great. I love that movie. It was so good. Highly recommend that movie. I also watched Last Seen Alive. That's the new Gerard Butler movie on Netflix where his like wife was kidnapped from a gas station, or disappeared from a gas station. Maybe she left on her own. And then he's like going to try to save her. But he's just like a normal guy trying to save her. And I'm pretty sure that's like the same movie as Breakdown with Kurt Russell, and his like his car in that movie, his car breaks down on the side of the road, and his wife goes to the gas station, and then she disappears. So, and then he goes to save her, right? I think. And this movie's like that movie. It's the same thing. It's kind of generic action. And Gerard Butler is like, the whole movie is just like Gerard Butler's like semi close up on his face, just like. That's the whole movie. It was pretty good. 7.5. It's still good, but kind of generic. I liked it though. And I also watched The Last Duel, with Matt Damon and Kylo Ren, Adam Driver. It was about the last duel that took place in England, or the last judicial duel. I looked this up. The last judicial duel that took place in England, and it was one guy accuses, and it's like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of dark, dark visually, and dark story-wise. I'd say it's good, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of over the super dark stuff, super dark things. I still say it was good. I forget what I gave this the rating on the podcast, and I don't remember. So if you want to know my rating, go look at that, because I don't know what I would rate it now. I would rate it, I think, lower now. It's been longer. But one thing I want to say is Adam Driver's got a long ass cape. You see the cape? Watch that movie. His cape is like 10 feet. He's like, yeah. I also watched, how many movies is that? I also watched Tigerland. That's got Colin Farrell. And I don't remember the other actors. And it was like, it's about like, it's the classic Vietnam movie where it's like, war is bad, war is hell, this movie is poop. Or not poop, I'm gonna cut it. War is bad, Vietnam War is bad, evil, bad. Which is fine, but I'm kind of tired of those movies. I kind of just want to I know it's real, but I kind of just want to watch a war movie where people are fight and kill each other. But so this movie wasn't that. But it was okay. I'm not gonna say it was good. It was okay. 6. Because none of the characters are likable. I probably should have said what it was about. They were like training to go to the Vietnam War, and it's training to go to the Vietnam War. 6. I also watched Black Death. That's got Eddie Redmayne in it, and he's the main character, whatever. And that wasn't a good movie either. It's about like these knights or whatever are going to try to kill this witch, and then they all die. Most of them die. And it's about the Black Plague. That was all right. 6, because that was okay. I wouldn't recommend that. All right, so now I'll talk about some. Now I'm going to switch over to movies that I have rewatched. Rewatched John Carter. That movie is really freaking good. I don't know why it didn't do good. I know. I looked up why it didn't do good in the box office. It's because they said it blamed it on the marketing campaign. They said the marketing campaign was terrible. And they also said that it was a bad move to change the name because it's actually called like John Carter and the Princess of Mars or something is what the book is or whatever. And that was what it was, or titled something like that. And they changed it just John Carter. But so many people nowadays didn't know who the hell John Carter was. I didn't. I do now because I looked it up. But so they blame it on the marketing campaign and said that it was just marketed terribly. But that's a great I think that's a great movie. Personally, I'd give it a 9 for myself. I love that movie. I think that movie's great. I've rewatched it like 10 times. That movie's really good. I would highly recommend that movie. Go watch it. I also rewatched Van Helsing. That movie's just fun. It's just fun. It's got Wolverine, whatever his name is. And he's Van Helsing, who's a guy who's like, it's like medieval literature, not medieval, it's like classic literature, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, vampires, and Count Dracula, and all that stuff. And he's killed them all. That's it. It's just him killing them all with like, it's got like steampunk-ish weapons where it's like the weapons like when, it's got like a crossbow that shoots stakes and it's like rotates like so it's like not a real weapon, obviously. But it's just fun. But those kind of movies are just fun. That was just fun. So I think that's a fun movie. I give that movie an 8. Maybe 8.5. Depending on my mood, it could change. 8.5. I was watching Men in Black 1 and Men in Black 2. Those movies still hold up. They still hold up. You don't know what those are? Go get up. Why are you watching me? They still hold up. You can still watch those. Men in Black 1, Men in Black 2. Both of them still hold up. You think one of them wouldn't? They both still hold up. Both great, fantastic. And the last movie that I watched was a new movie. I want to save this one for last. Hocus Pocus 2. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hocus Pocus 2. That was pretty good. Now that more time has passed, I like it more now. You know, like I said, for a couple other movies, I said that for Last Duel. I like it less as time has gone by. Hocus Pocus 2, I like it more as time has gone by. That's just great. It's just Hocus Pocus 2. It's witches. The witches are back, and we were watching it, and we were just like, those actresses are having the time of their life. They are having so much. You can tell Sarah Jessica Parker is having a blast. She's just smiling and happy as a mouse, okay? That movie's just fun. It's just a fun movie. And the guy who plays the shopkeeper, I don't know the actor's name, but that guy's just hilarious. There's also New Girl, that one episode of New Girl, Dunstan. He's hilarious. That guy's hilarious. I love that. I want that guy in every comedy. He's funny. That was good. My favorite movie out of all of these, my favorite. Okay, favorite out of the movies that I've seen, that I haven't seen. Favorite. Might be Hocus Pocus 2. My favorites are going to be Awakenings, Morbius, Interpreter, Hocus Pocus 2. Out of those, I think Interpreter might be those are my four favorite. That's where I'm staying. My four favorite are going to be Awakenings, Morbius, Interpreter, and Hocus Pocus 2. Out of the movies that I rewatched, my favorite might be John Carter. I'm not kidding. That's a great movie. But Men in Black 1, because of nostalgia. If you take the nostalgia out of it, I think I would probably pick John Carter. If you put the nostalgia into it, how do you not pick Men in Black 1? I mean, come on. How do you not pick Men in Black 1? Well, those are the 20 movies that I watched in the past 2 weeks. It's actually going to be more like 3 weeks when this video comes out, because I'm slow. But all these were watched in a 2-week period. 2-week period. These were all watched. I think. One or two of them might have been before. But I'm going to count it as the past 2 weeks. Just because I want to. Alright, so that's going to be it. And that was a lot of fun. I hope to do this again next time I watch a bunch of movies. So this is going to be Shasta Markman. Signing off. weeks, I watched a lot of videos.